Many people are now working, teaching, entertaining, and shopping from home. So why not elevate to the next level of smart home? Here to talk more about the idea of future home is 5G expert Jefferson Wang. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm happy to have you here. So I want to start out by asking, how has the COVID-19 pandemic put a new focus on the home?
So it's interesting. We finished this book in January of 2020, and we were really highlighting the consumer mindset and trends that were happening. But COVID-19 has really accelerated those trends. So, for example, now we're working from home much more. We're having to educate our kids at home. We're entertaining more at home. And we're even virtually visiting some of our doctors that we can't see in person at home now. So it's really put a more focus on what is the actual definition of a home now as being a hub. And it's imperative that we're actually making those connections to all these points in our lives.
And tell us more about your vision for the future home in 5G.
So the future home, really, it's important to understand kind of where we are today and actually understanding what this smart home we live in now looks like. And in a smart home today, does it really deserve the word smart? So it takes 2 to 3 hours on average for consumers to actually set up these devices. Why do I have to ask the weather every morning to get a response? Sometimes when I'm sick in bed, the vacuum still goes off as planned at 7 a.m. every single time. So are these really smart behaviors, or are they simply automated behaviors? I think to understand that, we can move into what a future looks like of a home. And that's where it's actually going to sense and comprehend and act and actually focus on improving our lives instead of simply automating it.
So what kind of consumer experiences can we expect in the future home?
So I think in the future home, there's a few things that are pretty exciting. One, it's certainly in the short term going to improve what we're actually already doing, like we talked about in those trends. So number one, if we're actually already working from home, how do we make it more secure? How do we make it easier and more productive? I think in the future to long term, we'll be able to actually create more immersive experiences with the technology like 5G, which is the fifth generation of wireless technology. We're able to actually create more immersive experiences where if you want to close the distance with, let's say, your mother or your parents who live, in different states, you can actually go on a virtual walk and you can actually be down the same neighborhood street that you actually grew up on, and you can connect differently from that perspective. And 5G is really the exciting part of this, where we can actually converge your mobile broadband with your home broadband on one single technology stack. And the ability to do that unlocks this at home anywhere feel, where you can feel just as at home inside the four walls of your house or on four wheels of your car.
And which companies are going to work together to bring all this together?
So in this future home environment with 5G, it's really a team sport. And we feel like these communication service providers, which is your wireless provider, your cable operator, or your telephone company, have the ability, since they've gained all this trust in the COVID-19 environment, to really be the team captains in this situation, where they can actually recruit some of the best players onto their team. They can actually make sure everybody's working together towards a common goal, and they can even share information so that everybody reaches this common goal.
That all sounds really amazing. Where can our viewers go to get more information on the 5G future home?
So Elsa, you can go to accenture.com/5G future home.
All right, Jefferson Wang, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate it. And we'll be right back with more Midday Maryland right after this. Stay tuned.